Have an organizational chart from the IRS investigative team that was looking into the business practices of Hunter Biden and his associates. This org chart is from 2014. Now, Mr. Dubinsky, when my former life, I was in community banking, and I'm comfortable with
within our communities to make sure that we are providing for them the basic rights as humans. That's what love is. And that's the godly thing to do. So if we want to talk about faith, we also have to remember that
They didn't see it coming. In the heart of Congress, as Ilhan Omar launched into another lecture about equity and systemic injustice, Congressman Byron, calm, confident, and unapologetically conservative, dropped a truth bomb so powerful the entire room went silent. Omar froze, searching for words that never came. What happened next left even Democrats stunned, and you're about to see why.
Have an organizational chart from the IRS investigative team that was looking into the business practices of Hunter Biden and his associates. This org chart is from 2014. Now, Mr. Dubinsky, when my former life, I was in community banking, and I'm comfortable with looking at organizational charts. When I first saw this chart, the first thing I thought about was a real estate holding company or a developer, and this is not to demean developers in the great east state of America, but developers typically have multiple companies that float with various business interests and business lines. But the funny thing is that in the business dealings of Hunter Biden, there is no real estate, none at all. So, Mr. Dubinsky, in your professional experience, looking at this organizational chart of business structure, what do you see here?
I see a very complicated structure of entities that are interrelated and would give me concern. If I were an investigator, I would want to know what's going on in these entities, who's behind them, how's the money moving between them, and what is the substance of the transactions? What's really going on here?
Mr. Dubinsky, do you think it's in the interest of this committee that is now in an inquiry phase to actually find out all of the flow of money between these entities and what the purpose was?
Absolutely.
Next slide, please. For my colleagues on the other side, we're going to start talking evidence now. This is now a slide of the organizational chart of the Hunter Biden business companies and with associates from 2018, from the same IRS investigators who were broke down the business structure in 2014. Does this slide cause you the same concern, Mr. Dubinsky?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Now let's talk about some more. Actually, one point I want to make on this. Ladies and gentlemen, and I know it's kind of small, so I would love to I will submit all this for the record. I would love my colleagues on the other side to see this. In 2014, one of the key owners was Devin Archer, who did testify and was under deposition under oath by the Oversight Committee. In 2018, Devin Archer is no longer listed, but his wife, Krista Archer, is now listed. Mr. Dubinsky, when you see a situation where ownership interest moves from one spouse to the other, is that a concern of some level of fraud potentially?
I would call it a red flag. That's something I would look at and again, try to get to the bottom of what happened there. Was it just transferred? Was there money behind it? What was going on? Okay, thank you. Next slide.
Now, this is to a text message. This is a text message between, it's going to Naomi Biden. That's what this one is. Hold on, let me get my stuff back. There we go. Sorry. This is the WhatsApp text message between Jim Biden and Hunter Biden. In this text message, it clearly says, anyway, we can talk later, but you've been drawn into something purely for the purpose of protecting Dad. This is between Hunter Biden and Jim Biden. Last time I checked, the father of Jim Biden and Joe Biden is now passed away. So I'm assuming this is Hunter Biden saying to Jim Biden, the president's brother, that you've been brought in this for the sole purpose of protecting Dad. Miss O'Connor, do you think that this text message would lead this committee to get further information about the business dealings of Hunter Biden and how that actually links to Jim Biden, the president's brother, and why they are so concerned with protecting Dad, a.k.a. Joe Biden, a.k.a. the President of the United States?
Yes.
Thank you. Next slide, please. This is a text message between Hunter Biden and Naomi Biden. And this one is a famous one. Everybody knows this one. This is a famous one that says, I hope you all do what I did and pay for everything for this entire family for 30 years. It's really hard. But don't worry, unlike Pop, I won't make you give me half your salary. Mr. Dubinsky, If you saw a text message like this in a potential money laundering operation or a potential pay-for-play operation, would you be looking for information related to money going from son to father?
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Thank you. Next slide. Oh, this is a fun one. Ladies and gentlemen, this one is from 2018. This is about 4 months before Joe Biden launched his campaign for president of the United States, December 2018. The highlight is, this is a text message between Jim Biden and Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden was in a bad way.
It's not because of the lack of love that we're not able to feed our children. It's not because of the lack of love that we are able to house people. It's not the lack of love that we are unable to save people from dying because they don't have health care. It's not because of lack of love that you were able to finish college because you got help with childcare. Love has nothing to do with this. And if you want to bring love into this, you got to bring radical love. Because radical love means that we radically love every single person within our communities to make sure that we are providing for them the basic rights as humans. That's what love is. And that's the godly thing to do. So if we want to talk about faith, we also have to remember that we can't pray our problems away. Exactly. You can't pray for your children to be fed, so you're not crying because they're crying and they can't go to bed. You cannot pray for your medical bills to disappear. You cannot pray for the mold to stop poisoning your children in the classrooms. The other thing that frustrates me is people who have experienced poverty, who have gotten the straps for their bootstraps, who sit and talk about how we shouldn't do anything for the next person. See, as someone who knows severe poverty, I lived in a refugee camp, on the floor, no water, nothing. And I hear somebody say, here in the United States, they're fine with their grandparents not having running water? And that's supposed to be okay? Or we hear someone say, it was a choice made up to me to have my children and not be like the other black people who get to have children out of wedlock. We don't get to have those kind of conversations. The conversations we get to have is how we are responsible for fully funding our schools so all of our children have the opportunities we have as we sit in this room. We get to talk about the kind of opportunities we have as government to make sure healthcare.
Welcome back to Alyson Reacts, the channel where we expose the truth, unfiltered. If you love watching real patriots stand up to the radical left, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and let's dive right in. What you're about to witness is a rare moment in Congress, a moment when Byron Donalds, one of the most articulate and fearless conservatives in Washington, completely dismantled Ilhan Omar's latest narrative. Now, Omar had been going on about how America is systemically racist, how the GOP is oppressing minorities, and how our country needs to be fundamentally changed. You know, the same tired talking points we've heard 1,000 times. But Donalds didn't let it slide. He leaned forward, locked eyes with Omar, and asked her a simple question. If America is so racist, how did you, an immigrant, a Muslim woman, rise to one of the highest offices in the land? Boom. Dead silence. No answer. Just that awkward, uncomfortable pause as reality hit. You could almost feel the air shift in that committee room. Omar had no comeback because deep down she knows the truth. The system works. Donalds went further, reminding everyone that opportunity, not oppression, defines this country. That millions of immigrants come here not because America is evil, but because it's the freest nation on earth. And you could see it. The Democrats in that room weren't just silent, they were rattled. Because when you strip away the slogans and the outrage, they can't defend their ideology. They thrive on victimhood, not victory. Byron Donalds exposed that, with logic, poise, and patriotism. He didn't shout. He didn't grandstand. He just spoke truth, and it echoed louder than any of their slogans ever could. This, my friends, is exactly why the left fears men like Donalds. Because they can't silence him with identity politics. They can't label him racist. And they certainly can't debate him without being exposed. That's what leadership looks like. Standing for truth even when it's unpopular, even when the mob tries to tear you down. If you're proud of patriots like Byron Donalds who refuse to bow to the woke agenda, then share this video with your friends. Let's make sure every American hears what real courage sounds like in Congress today. This is a Listen Reacts, where we shine a light on truth and hold the line for freedom. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss the moments that matter most. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.